As you saw in the previous video, I now, using that super duper tool, got the hubs off. Next is to get the rear axle out and also to pull these shafts out. I'm going to go down to my local auto store and see if I can find a slide hammer that I can use, perhaps with a couple of legs or triple leg puller, and you know, hook on the back of the washer with the nut on here. I don't know. I'll see what they've got. But before that, let's come over here and separate the hub from the rotor. Now, do be very careful. They're handed, aren't they? Left-handed, right-handed, cack-handed. Now, I've written on the disc in black pen, right. But of course, I'm just about to separate that. So that's no fucking use. So I've engraved on here a R. And on the other one, I've engraved a L. So I can get that correct. And what I am going to do is on the back of the hub with a punch, I'm going to punch in dots, R and L. That way I can't get it wrong, and then I can smooth them off and everything will be absolutely perfect. So let me get this now separated, and I will film it for you because it's fun. 5/8. 5/8 socket, breaker bar on the back, 5/8 socket, airline on the front, bang, done. Well, let's get on with it and let me show you how I do it. All right, now let's just pick a nut, any nut. Yes, I'm a nut. It's going to be noisy, so look out. Oh, I don't believe it. What? Wow. I just did the other wheel and these were all 5/8. Jeez, what a mucking fuddle. Hang on, I gotta go get me a different socket there, boy. The 5/8 ain't gonna cut it. Hell, I don't know if I got the right size. I do. This is it. Wow, look out for that. This one's an 11/16. So, I don't know how this happened, but it did. Yeah, you saw me put that on the wrong one then, didn't you? Damn it. There we go. And of course the nuts don't want to come out. This is when you have to put it back on and take it out, and put it back on and take it out. Like sex. Put it in, take it out, put it in, take it out. And on that subject, when you go into a store and you buy something, you know, the credit card machines tell you, you know, put it in, take it out, put it in, take it out. And you think, Christ, I didn't marry that bloody machine, did I? Alright. Yeah, come on. Come on, baby, light my fire. Oh, and on the back, I'm using a long socket because I need to get into the dish of the rotor, or even the disc. I will be replacing all of these with grade 8 nuts and bolts. And hopefully, I'm speaking to S&G Barrett at the moment, My intention is to buy new slotted rotors for this vehicle. Now, little thing here, you know, again, it's always you do what you want to do. This is what I'm doing. Okay, punch it out. As I'm not going to be using these again, can't say I care if I fuck them up. If I don't fuck them up, I'll keep them for prosperity. And if I don't, I won't. Okay, now put this one back in the top so that this thing doesn't drop and take my toes off. Then with one's trusty hammer, there she blows. All right. Anybody want some used discs? They're free. Of course they're free. Probably not too much use. They don't look terrible, in all honesty. They probably didn't really get much use. Also, well, they're originals. They got patina. Anybody want to buy them? They've got patina. I prefer they had Tina Turner, but there you go. Right, that's it. Now let's move on to getting the rear axle out of the vehicle. Okay, these are the two tools that I got from my local AutoZone. Slide hammer number 57033 and a CV axle puller 57058. Now, they didn't have anything that would fit the nut, so I used this and just slid it in behind here, and then with the slide hammer, you know, holding this in position, and you need to hold it down in position because it's really not meant to be doing this, but that's what I did. Got it in there, and I did it with the washer as well to give me a bit of extra grip, and whacka 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 with the slide hammer. Okay, hang on a second, let me show you that so you know what the fuck I'm talking about. There, slide hammer. And obviously that piece there, that CV axle piece, goes onto here. Costs about $75, I think it was, to rent this. And as you're all aware, with AutoZone, you rent them. When you take them back, they give you all your money back. So that's what I used. I didn't have the correct tool for the slide hammer, but you can get creative. And I've got to tell you, the one on the other side, I did have to use heat on it. Oh, and one other thing, when you take off this piece here that holds the brake caliper, there are shims, so be careful. You keep them with the correct one. Mine has no shims, I don't think. Oh, there might be a shim there stuck on. Yeah, in fact there is. There's a shim stuck on there. So I got to make sure that I put that with the correct side. Otherwise it's going to mess things up. And you may, of course, have to buy more shims once you put in the new pieces, but that's going to be all part of the rebuild, and that's all part of my learning, because I do not know how to do a rebuild on a rear axle, but I'm going to do it. Actually, I meant to show this. This shaft is now loose and will come all the way out with a good bit of pulling. Oh, there she goes. And there's a seal in there. Now, obviously there's a new bearing. This one actually doesn't look terrible, but I'm replacing them all anyway. I've got new ones. What does the race look like? Yeah, I don't know. It's marked, but that's a Timken too. A Timken 14276, made in Angleterre. Yes, England. Actually, it is in good condition. I got a feeling they were replaced at some point. Now what I've got to do is get this off of here. That shouldn't be too bad. My worst case scenario is that I'll cut it, destroy it. Getting it off, as I said, doesn't matter. When putting the new one on, I'm going to use the heat method.
In other words, you put the bearing race here in the oven. I've got a oven that I use for all my garage stuff, so I don't get in trouble with the wife. If you do not have one of those, then you might want to do it when your wife's out shopping or something. Yes. So yeah, you can see all of it. Yeah, there is a shim there, and it's glued on. Well, not glued on, this some kind of silicone crap sealant there. We'll have to make sure we deal with that. And then I've got to get this axle out, take it down the powder coaters once I've stripped it. Next job will be getting this axle out, and yes, I will record that for you. Now, do note, when you take these shims off, there is a paper gasket behind it. So don't forget that, because when you reassemble, you've got to put that gasket on there. Okay? Do not forget it.
Now, don't forget, when you are removing these axles, you need to make sure they go back where they came from. One of the reasons is because of the wearing. They've worn in with each other, they fit with each other nicely. Now, would it really make a great deal of difference? Probably not, in all honesty. But I like to keep shit where it came from. You know, these splines were mated up already with the splines on the crown. No, not the crown. Well, the axle. Let's call it the axle. And the same with this one. Also, the left and the right here. Now, that's more important because of the shims that were on each side. You know, there may be 6 on there and 2 on here. You know, you don't want to fuck that up, because that will adjust the way the axle sits. And it's been set, so you don't want to mess with that. You know, I've marked mine, as you can see, left and right. If one of the labels comes off, okay, I've still got a chance of getting it right. Also, this one, the keyway didn't come off. Great, so maybe I should just leave that there and not worry about it, because that way I can definitely get the right hub back on. Okay, well, now it's a matter of cleaning shit up. Oh, but first, let's get the axle out of the car, shall we? Let's go. Final sequence here of getting the rear axle out. I'm not actually going to show you me pulling it out, but I'm just going to show you what I did. Now, I have an axle stand here ready to catch this. I have my jack here just to take the tension off the spring, and the bolt here that was through here. Now, I have spun that out. So now what I shall do, and don't forget I've already removed these bolts here, is just take the tension off the jack, which should lower the spring and the axle down nice and slow. There we go. That's it. Okay, there is no tension now on that spring to the axle. There you go. You see, look, nice and loose. Okay, and I've got the axle stand here just in case I need to support it, because when I lower the jack, I anticipate I'm going to rest it on these axle stands. In fact, what I will probably do, in all honesty, is I'm going to lower the axle stands to be lower, so that the axle can come down a little more. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just going to swing it back. I've got the jack underneath the axle at the moment, supporting it. So it's a bit of a jiggery-pokery, but you can get there without pooping your pants. Then the next thing I will do will be to take the springs out, because I don't want them in there. For one thing, I want to clean them up, perhaps give them a lick of paint, not sure yet, and also replace the little rubber, I don't know what you call them, donuts, discs, pucks. I've got one spare one. I was looking at them the other day and they're beginning to crack, so I'm going to have to put new ones in. That's it now. Get out in that garage, go do some shit. Yep, there she is, out. Now all I got to do, all I've got to do is take it apart so I can just give the casing to my powder coat guy. I have noticed that the shock absorber holes are not round. There's a little bit of wear gone on there, so I'm gonna blast this, or I'm gonna grind it, whatever, and I'm gonna weld it and then re-drill the holes so that it holds it correctly. Good God, what a mess this is. All right, now really get out in the garage and go do some shit, will ya?